Once upon a time in Canton, Ohio, an amazing woman named Lynn Marie Lark was working in coordination with a colleague to start an early childhood education program. She was a speech pathologist and preparing to start the first early childhood program for mentally disabled children in the county when she got the news that her partner had accepted another job offer, meaning she was now the leader in the initiative. Since she was passionate about what she was doing, this gave her no problems and she graciously accepted the role. She later found out that she had to go to Vail, Colorado for a week-long conference. During this very same time, in Newport Beach, California, a strapping young man by the name of John Blakeney was preparing for a cross-country trip with his best friend Rick. Given they were both outdoor people, they had planned to take a road trip up the Rockies, starting in Colorado and ending in Canada. John was transitioning out of his previous career of a professional motorcycle racer. On a given day in the summer of '87 in Vail, Colorado, Lynn had met another speech pathologist from Tallahassee, Florida, and the two girls hit it off, making plans to go out for a drink at a local bar later that night. While Lynn was making her plans, John and Rick had found a camp spot and were now looking for a place to freshen up after a long day of travel. They decided on a nearby creek with fresh water coming straight from the Rockies. John and Rick decided to head to a bar that night for some drinks as well. They end up at the same bar that night, and as John walks up to the bar to grab a round of drinks, Lynn commented on his fresh scent. After getting to the bar and ordering the drinks, John looked back at the pretty young lady who commented on his freshness and decided to play it as cool as the pink polo he was wearing and use some sign language that he had recently picked up in a class. He signed hello to Lynn, expecting her to be impressed with his knowledge of sign language. Little did he know she was a speech pathologist that was required to have an in-depth understanding of the language, who proceeded to sign back. After realizing he may have bitten off more than he could chew, John approached Lynn and they decided to leave the noisy bar and settled on a bench just outside, where they talked for a few hours. When the night came to an end, they exchanged addresses and said goodbye. A couple days later, John sent a postcard from the next destination on his road trip. That one postcard unexpectedly turned into a year of extensive letter writing. After developing a deeper relationship over written correspondence, they started speaking on the phone often. Not expecting her to take him up on it, John casually invited her to the West Coast for a visit. She decided to take him up on his request, and that's when they realized they had something special. They simply clicked, and when John went out to visit the following winter, he gave Lynn a diamond necklace. During one of Lynn's many trips she made the following year, they went on a camping trip to John's favorite place, Yosemite National Park. One day they hiked to the Merced River, and John got down on one knee and proposed to Lynn. She said yes, obviously. They shared a wonderful wedding with supportive friends and family, with receptions in Ohio and California. The two couldn't wait to start their lives together. They were not sure where they would end up settling, but due to Lynn's work situation, they would spend the first year in Ohio. Keep in mind, this is two people that live separate lives about 3,000 miles apart, so one can imagine it wouldn't be easy to assimilate immediately. John made the courageous decision to move out to Ohio after selling his business and recently graduating college. He didn't have a job lined up or a source of income. All he had was his new bride Lynn, which was all the motivation he needed. This didn't mean that there wasn't problems. In fact, research shows the most stressful things in life included marriage, job security, and relocation. John was experiencing all these things at once. He was focused on finding a job while feeling a bit isolated in Ohio, and because of this, Lynn experienced a different, more serious side of John. Most of the time they spent together up to this point was more carefree due to their independent and stable success. The stressful situation presented disagreements between the two that would become exaggerated due to John's frustrations. John also decided to take over the financials to Lynn's dismay. As time went on and John's frustrations continued to mount, one particular argument resulted in John leaving the house to go for a walk and clear his head. He contemplated leaving and returning to California. John thought about what a divorce would entail and thought a lot about his parents, whom went through a combined 4 divorces. Growing up in that lifestyle made John realize that he didn't want that and it was time to make changes. From that point on, John was totally committed to making things between he and his new bride work, because he realized if they stick together and support each other, they can get through anything in life.